I bought a Jeep!
You bought a what?
A Jeep!
What colour?
Black!
Hey, Ronnie here from Four Wheeling in Western Australia. Welcome to Modified episode number 24, where we share with you vehicles that have been accessorised and modified for everyday use and four-wheel driving. All right, let's meet the owner. Dan, how you going?
How are you?
Not too bad. Do you want to tell our audience what make and model and year?
This is a 2011 Jeep Wrangler JK, a CRD, so it's the diesel with the automatic. Makes it easier for the rock crawling. Moderate lift and solid axles front and rear, part-time four-wheel drive.
Bar work. Dan, what do you got here, mate?
ARB winch bar with the winch off at the moment because it needed some servicing.
Oh, you're getting a service at the moment?
Yep.
And you got your latch here? Oh, so you got the cable?
Used to have cable. I swapped it over for Dynamo rope.
Okay.
Yeah.
No bash plates yet?
Bash plates off so that I could get to the winch.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it looked different.
Yep.
Yeah. So I know Dan from a previous trip we did side steps.
Yep. They're made by Blackjack Welding, which I'm pretty sure is a guy who used to do it out of Perth, and those things are heavy duty. I've had the Jeep balancing on those.
They look super solid.
Mm.
That's a lot of steel there, isn't it? Can see you use them a bit too, eh?
I have used them a lot. Yeah, they've protected both the sill and the underneath.
And you got a rear bar as well? Some more steel here?
Yeah, Blackjack Welding again, I'm pretty sure. Rear bar with a swing away tyre carrier, heavy duty. The guy does some really good work. I've had some people who know what they're talking about compliment me on the welds and stuff, so.
Well, you can tell just by looking at the welds, really.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
Good gear.
So this arm opens without the door opening at the same time, or is it the same time as the door?
No, it's separate. Yep,
Separate.
It'll swing
Okay.
away.
Oh, so you got your work lights on the back of this?
Yep, work lights wired up to the dual battery so I don't drain the normal battery. And I've taken the jerry can mounts off. I don't tend to run around the city with those. They just sit on the tyre carrier as well.
Oh, clips on here?
Yep.
Now onto the roof rack. Roller?
Yeah, it's a bit of a throw together. It's a roller rack on roller rails, and then it's got a Rhino backbone system which has a couple of brackets inside the hard top there to transfer the weight down to the body of the Jeep.
Oh, so it's going through the fiberglass down here?
Yep, down on the inside.
And awning?
And a pull-out awning, yep, 2.5 by 2.5 as far as I know, yeah.
Lights and comms. Start with these.
Yep, HID spotlights wired in at the same time as the LED floods. Pump out some pretty good light, never had a problem.
These are your pencils and easy spreads then?
Yep.
Same with the standard light?
Yeah,
now?
standard headlights. They're a little dull for a stock light, but they're good enough around town.
I suppose you got these on anyway.
Exactly right.
It's not going to matter.
Yep.
Your comms.
Comms, so the CB radio, 80 channel. I'm in the dash hidden away with the digital hand unit.
We'll start with your tyres.
Yeah, Bighorn 35 inch, close enough to 35. Mud tyres, they've been great in the wet off-road and really good on the sand. Let them down a lot because they've got really strong sidewalls, but I've never had a problem anywhere I've been.
Suppose you wouldn't be that heavy either.
That's a pretty light car,
So you
yeah.
need to come down a bit more.
Comparatively.
Are they 17-inch rims?
Yes.
Is there a specific offset you've put on here to get that size tyre in the car?
Nope, that's stock, and they actually flex up inside that guard. Very, very close, but it just fits.
Just fits.
Yep.
And your suspension lift?
Yeah, the lift is around a 3-inch Old Man Emu straight off the shelf as far as I know, bolt straight in.
You got sway bar disconnects on this one?
Sway bar disconnects to get the articulation on the front. It's got an E-locker, but not needed until you start lifting wheels, and you've got to be pushing the Jeep pretty hard to do that.
Do you E-locker in the rear?
It's got an ARB air locker in the rear.
Oh yeah, and an E-locker in the front.
E-locker in the front. The E-locker came out of the last Jeep that got written off. I bought the wreck so that I could get the axles and the locker out of it.
Okay.
Because I'd spent a lot of money on that.
Something we don't normally cover because it's kind of rarely done to a vehicle, well, to most vehicles, is axle upgrades. So you've got a chrome ollie axle upgrade.
Correct. The entire housing is an upgrade by TerraFlex, heavy duty everything, and the axles themselves are CV axles with CV joints, chrome ollie.
That's an American place, isn't it?
American manufactured, yep.
Yeah.
Most of the parts for Jeeps all come from America. They love them and they modify them like you wouldn't believe over there. And these particular axles are guaranteed not to break up to 35-inch tyres.
Wow, that's a pretty cool guarantee. And chrome ollie, for those who don't know what chrome ollie is what they use for the cages on racing cars and rollover cages, stuff like that. And it's really, really strong, but pretty light metal. Dan's going to show us his power plant here. And a lot of you guys from the States will probably be interested in the diesel version of the Jeep. I understand you don't get it over there. But Dan, just as you open it, I was looking for a second battery.
It's in the back.
In the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. There's no room under the bonnet for these.
No, there's not much, is there?
The petrol version, you can fit them in, but you got to do a couple of modifications, but just no room with the diesel.
Yeah. Alternators in a nice high
Alternator,
spot.
yeah, been designed like that, keep it up out of the way.
So you got your snorkel coming in.
Snorkel over this side.
Yeah.
A must for water crossings.
ARB compressor.
ARB compressor for the pumping up the tyres after you've been out, and the rear locker.
Yeah. Anything else you've done in here?
No, pretty much stock.
Aside from, you got your red arc battery.
Got the red arc battery
Isolator.
isolator for the rear battery. Battery's right up the back.
What litre size engine is that?
2.8.
2.8,
Yep.
4-cylinder.
Averaging around 15 litres per 100 at the moment. That goes up a lot when you're off-road, obviously, but
Yeah.
yeah, 15 is the average at the moment.
Yep. And how big's your fuel tank?
The stock tank's quite small. I think it's around 70 litres. I've got a long range auxiliary tank. That's about another 40 litres. And in a pinch, I can carry the extra 40 litres in 2 jerry cans.
Okay, so that's a fair bit of range then.
I can get a 1,300 odd kilometres if I need to out of it, yeah.
Can't complain about that. We're at the back of the vehicle now, and Dan's going to show us how he's utilised his space, which is quite limited on.
Or lack of space, yeah.
But it looks like a whole lot of space now.
Yeah, with the seats out, there's a lot more space. Obviously, then it just becomes the 2-seater. But these were a set of drawers that I bought. Messed up the measurements. They didn't fit the twin drawers, so I've converted it to just the one drawer. Kept the one with the fridge slide and gave the other one to a mate for his car.
Okay.
The rack came with my last Jeep and I modified it to fit. It just bolts into the seatbelt anchor points and gives me a nice firm base to have everything tied down to.
What fridge do you normally run?
Got a 50 litre Waco
Waco?
CFX.
Okay.
Latest.
First aid kit, nice, easy to get to.
Yeah, first aid kit, a couple of tarps, always good to have if you need to get down and dirty for anything or use them for camping. The battery sits in the storage, which is in underneath here.
The battery.
You can get to it if you need to, which is in under there. LED lights across the top, wired up to the battery as well.
You find that you got enough room?
It's limited and...
when you've done it to 2 seats though?
Yeah, absolutely. The way it is right now, it's tons of room for me anyway. Yep.
Yeah.
And one other person if they need to. You can get just enough gear in for 2 people. Yep.
Because you've actually got more room in here than in a 4-door Jeep.
I do with the seats out.
With the seats
Yep.
out. And I see you got a table there too.
Yep. Always handy when you want to.
Welcome to Dan's cab. He's going to run us through what he's got in here. So Dan.
Right. So the CB radio's hidden down under the dash. Got the 80 channel with everything on the handpiece. Alpine deck with Bluetooth. I wanted that so that I could answer phone calls and stuff without being fined for driving on the road. That's wired up to a reverse camera over the license plate at the back. Got the air compressor switch, diff locker switches, spotlight switches, reverse or rear lights, and the Long Ranger fuel tank, which
Oh, so you switch over by, when you hit that switch, you switch the tank?
yeah, that's got a little gauge that lets you know if it's full or not, as well as a switch, and that pumps into the main tank.
A gauge and a switch, cool.
Yep.
Pretty handy.
They're a good little tank, good unit.
Q&A. Dan, my first question. I just went and bought a short wheelbase JK Wrangler, a CRD.
Yep.
What's the first 3 things you recommend I do?
Well, if you're going to do any sort of off-roading at all, you want tyres. Muddies are good. A lift, decent lift, 2 inches even, just gets you a bit more clearance for the wheel movement, and with the disconnects at the front allows that travel without wrecking the guards.
So disconnects will be in your top 3?
Disconnects would be there, I reckon, yeah.
So you're heading out into the bush?
Yep.
What's the one thing you must have with you?
Fridge.
Fridge?
Fridge.
Yep.
Got to carry the beer.
Question?
Yep.
What made you decide to get this particular make and model, and what did you have before? Because I know it's going to be in the same hands of...
Jeep. I did a bit of research before I bought any Jeep. I just found that they looked to be a fair bit of fun and pretty robust off-road. So the reason why I bought this one was as a direct replacement for my last Jeep, which got written off in an accident. Bought the Wreck, I optioned that because it had all my gear in it still and some mechanical parts like the front axles and front locker were all in it. So I bought that as the Wreck and managed to salvage a lot of that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's your top 3 trips in this particular vehicle?
Top 3 trips. The first big one I ever did, really, any camping anywhere, was with Explore WA. Went down to the D'Entrecasteaux. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yes,
Jaeger up.
You did it correct.
And yeah, that was pretty magic. That's a beautiful part of Australia. The second trip was the one with you, when we went down between Bremer Bay and Albany. That was unreal. And just as a general trip is the Powerlines. It's just good fun to get out and play in those. Those things are so much fun to push off-road.
Well, they're a nice toy, these ones.
They are, that's the good word for it, as a toy, yeah.
So what's your next modification for the Jeep?
Well, aside from just getting the finishing touches after I bought it and got it up and running for trips, is more lighting. After doing a couple of camping trips, you just can't have enough lights. So I need something out on the sides for when you're camping.
I like your party lights on...
The party lights, yeah, they've got to come out from inside. I've got to attach them, but
it looked great on the time lapse, I'll tell you that.
I did it really. That was the
I'll
red.
throw it up now.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, just something fixed, probably on the side, just an LED light or something on the side, just to get a bit more light when you're parking and setting up. You need it, definitely.
So my final question: a JK Wrangler, short wheelbase, CRD, so common rail diesel.
Yep.
What are some of the things to look out for?
If you're buying second hand, which I did, you've just got to be aware that a lot of Jeep owners modify. So you've got to watch out for whatever's been done previously.
Oh, if they've done something wrong.
Know what you're going into and know what you're looking for in terms of lifts and the suspension. Make sure it's been done properly. And wiring. You know, there's spotlights and reverse work lights and also all that sort of stuff. You just want to make sure it's been done properly, so you just go in prepared and make sure that the people before you have done it half decent.
Good point. Thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you.
Having a Jeep on here.
Cheers.
And if you want more details on this vehicle, more photos, stuff like that, you can see in the description below, and there's a link up in the corner there. Also, the trip that Dan came with us on is a 2-episode trip. Really good watching. That is also in the description below, and another link up there. You can subscribe right here. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in another video.